Hey, I'm Raymond from the Beginner Photography Podcast, and today I'm going to show you how changing one setting is going to blow away your friends and family. So let's get into it. As a beginner, I think that learning what Aperture can do for your photos is going to give you the biggest wow factor. So get ready. Your camera's aperture is actually not in your camera at all. It's actually in the lens. This is the first step of the triangle, where you can control how much light enters into the camera. Aperture is going to affect your photos in two different ways. It will make your photos either brighter or darker depending on which way you turn the dial, but it will also control your depth of field, which is how much of your subject you want to be in focus. Every lens shows the aperture number on the front, which lets you know the maximum amount of light which is allowed to enter into the camera. Traditionally, the smaller the number, the more expensive the lens. Aperture is on a scale that is kind of confusing. They're called f-stops. Aperture and f-stop are the exact same thing. It goes from 1.2, 1.4, 2, 2.8, 4, 5, 6, 8, 11, 16, 22, and so on, but you're not going to need anything past 22. Each number is one stop of light, either brighter or darker than the previous number. F2.8 is one stop brighter than F4, and F8 is one stop darker than F5.6. But you really don't have to worry about that too much right now. But know that the smaller the number, the more out of focus your backgrounds are going to be. Here, let's take a look. This shot was taken at f1.4. This shot was taken at f2. This shot was taken at f2.8. This shot was taken at f4. This shot was taken at f5.6. This shot was taken at f8. This shot was taken at f11. As you can see, the larger the number, the more in focus everything became. And the smaller the number, I was able to isolate the subject and completely make the background out of focus. So just a comparison, f1.2, f11. f1.2, f11. So I know what you're thinking. Why would anybody not want to shoot at the smallest aperture number and get the shallowest depth of field? Good question, but there's several reasons. The most important is that at f1.2 or f1.4, depending on how close you are to your subject, their eyes might be in focus, but their nose will be out of focus. And that can be great for portraits, but terrible for group shots. The next reason is what's called lens sharpness. The more you stop down or get a larger aperture number, your image will become sharper. This is perfect for when you're photographing something more than 15 to 20 feet away, like landscapes or vacation photos. In fact, world-famous photographer Ansel Adams shot all of his photos at f64, just to ensure that he would get the sharpest photo possible. And the last reason is, if you're outside shooting on a bright and sunny day at f1.2 or f1.4, there's a very good chance that you will be letting in way too much light into the camera. Your photos will become too bright and overexposed. You simply cannot shoot in the daytime with your aperture wide open unless you want to start using things like neutral density filters, but that's for another day. Alright, that's it for today. Come back tomorrow when we talk about the second part of the exposure triangle, shutter speed. I'll see you then.